Here we go. I'd like to introduce the Oazis team. I am Melanie Sampson, and together with me here are Julia Segalin, Yuval Almogi, Tamir Elazar, and Michal Rotem. We're excited to welcome you to our Oazis 4th cohort Demo Day event. We really appreciate you taking the time to participate, and we hope we fill this time together with meaningful value for you. I see many friends here, to our long-term friends and our partners. Thanks so much for joining us today. And also to our new friends joining us. Welcome. We at Oazis accelerate and build new investor-worthy deep tech startups based on groundbreaking research from Ben-Gurion University. And we do this to help positively impact humanity and to shape the future. At Oazis, we feel that together with our colleagues from BG Negev Technologies, Ben-Gurion University's tech transfer company, we've created a new formula to enable the successful transition of bringing revolutionary research from academia into the startup world and into the business world. We do that by matching our researchers with CEO candidates and putting our teams through a 4-month acceleration think tank program to help them transform their technologies into profitable businesses. I would like to emphasize that the researchers you're about to see today have taken a leap of faith and have stepped out of their comfort zone of academic research into the business world. So we invite all of you to interact with them and help them to realize their startup's full potential. So we are here today to showcase the results of the hard work of 6 amazing teams in transforming their innovative technologies into desirable products in the diverse realms of quantum technology, health tech, climate tech, bio-inspired materials, as well as smart cities. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of our partners. Brooks Carrot, our finance experts, Lutzato, who provide us with patents expertise, Barry Katz for their support with presentations, and Shibboleth law officers, and of course to our friends and all our colleagues of the South, who are using their resources and expertise to support our startups. We would also like to welcome our new partner, Taga, who has recently joined us to offer our team support with product design and development. And special thanks to our advisors and mentors. I'm going to name them because they did such a phenomenal job with our teams. First of all, to Alex Taskar, who has mentored our team since Oazis's foundation, Bracha Khalaf, Edith Goldberg, Shachar Harari, Yaron Livnat, and Vicky Eisenberg. And to our comrades in arms from BGN Technologies team, the results we present today reflect their expertise and their full support of the teams throughout the acceleration journey. And thanks also to Ran Sabari, who worked with us relentlessly to film and prepare the video presentations of our teams that we are about to present. To open this event, I would like to invite Professor Carmel Sofer, the chairman of Yazamut 360, to say a few words. Carmel, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Melanie, and thank you for organizing this event. The beginning looks fantastic. People ask me sometimes, what is Oasis? And usually I don't give the standard answer that Oasis is connected to the Negev and to the desert. Another sentence to describe what is Oasis about. And I choose one sentence in saying that Oasis is about entrepreneurship from Mars and scientists from Venus. And this sentence in my mind describes the opportunities, the huge opportunity and the challenges that we have in Oasis. I myself is a faculty here at BGU, but before that I spent some 25 years in the high-tech industry. So I can tell the difference between being a scientist and being a high-tech person. And I think that what we do here in Oasis is trying to bridge the gap between science and scientists and the industry and companies. The fourth presentation that we have here today is actually a good proof that we do not here in this area. So I would like to thank everybody and wish everybody success in this event. Thank you.
Thanks, Carmel. I would now like to invite Josh Peleg, the CEO of BGN Technologies, to greet you all.
So good afternoon, good morning to everybody, and thank you for joining us. What is our fourth demo day of the Oasis program, which we started together with Yazamut about 2 years ago. I defined it as a pilot, and I'm wondering after 2 years if we can stop calling it a pilot to always be a pilot. And I wanted to just take the opportunity to sort of remind ourselves and to those of you that don't know sort of the background to Oasis, why are we doing this? And what are we trying to capture here? So overall, the goal of the university was to facilitate the creation of more startups based on university research, which is a great goal. And the question was, what can we do in order to help facilitate not only the creation of more startups, but also to help ensure that those startups that are created have a better chance of success? And together we identified a number of points that we felt were really important to address in order to be able to achieve this goal. The first point was that we noticed that from our experience in commercializing products and commercializing technologies, we see that the more that the inventors are involved in the commercialization of their technology, the more that they are still actively involved in continued development of this early stage technology and are active with the commercialization process, the better chance that this commercialization will have success. So we wanted to make sure that the inventors are able to participate more fully in the creation of their startups. And to that end, as Carmel mentioned, we needed to bridge the gap between scientists and industry. And ensure that there is at least a level playing field of understanding of what it means to set up a company, what it means to create a business plan, what it means to raise capital, what it means to structure a deal, and that the researchers who aren't necessarily expected to know these things will have sort of a crash course or a base camp in how to, in the elementaries of starting up a startup and being able to be part of that dialogue. And that is something that has taken place in the 4 months of this course, and I think that it gives a strong background to everybody who participated in that course. Another key, really key to the success of a startup is obviously the team, which includes the entrepreneur or the CEO. It includes the technologists or the scientists that will be involved. And we need to make sure that there's going to be a strong team which is going to take the startup forward. And one of the great achievements, I believe, of Oasis over the last 4 years has been being able to identify a potential entrepreneurs and CEOs and do a matchmaking service between them and the researchers to identify those good matches and that chemistry that can work in creating a startup. And that is key for a startup. The third thing that we identified as that needed to be addressed in order to facilitate the establishment of more startups is the fact that creating a startup out of a university technology, which entails a licensing agreement, is traditionally a very long, arduous process. It's a process which has a lot of negotiation that's required. People have to get their heads around what is this licensing agreement. And what we decided to do in the framework of Oasis is to simplify and streamline the licensing process, to lower the bar of what a university would typically demand in order to agree to a license, and to enable and to facilitate a much more easygoing and flexible approach to being able to access university IP and put it into the startup. And finally, the last element is all the support that goes in from the side to help support the startup. So it's not just the teams that are going to be presenting here, it's the entire staff of Oazis, it's the entire staff of BG Negev that continues and will continue to give support, business development, finance, legal, patent support. Hopefully we do not send these ventures out to the world alone and feel that they become orphans. We will continue to be there as their parents, their cousins, their grandparents, as a family to ensure that they will be supported over the coming years. So to that end, I'd just like to, after 2 years of this, I'd like to give a very warm and heartfelt thanks to Carmel, to Yuval, Melanie, Julia, and the rest of the team, as well as to my team at BG Negev, who have been working days and nights also on these projects since before they began until today, and will continue to do so. And finally, all those mentors, entrepreneurs, everybody who's come together, who's part of this call, potential investors that have devoted a lot of time over these last months to develop these projects. Thank you very much, and I wish much luck to all of the presenters today. Good luck.
Thanks very much, Josh and Carmel, for elaborating on our collaboration in the program and our aims. I think we are ready to start. So each startup will pitch for 5 minutes, and then we will open the floor for 9 minutes of Q&As. Please send your questions to the Oasis Q&A chat so we can group similar questions. You can see it in the chat. Please ask single and short questions. Please state if you prefer to remain anonymous. And for Israelis who prefer to write their questions in English, in Hebrew, that's no worry. We can translate it without any problem. And if also you don't get a chance, if we don't get a chance to answer your questions during the event, we encourage you to contact the startup teams, whose contact details you can find in the closing slide. I would just like to ask everyone to please mute your microphones, because at the moment we can hear noises. Thank you very much. We appreciate that very much. Okay, so we're going to start with our first startup. Our first startup is in the field of quantum technology, Photonics Q. The future is bright for quantum technology. Based on decades of academic research and know-how, Photonics Q team will meaningfully contribute to the revolution of quantum technology. So we invite all of you to take a walk on the wild side and have a look on what, let's see what Photonics Q has to offer. So Photonics Q, go ahead.
Quantum technology turns ordinary reality upside down. A cat in quantum theory can even be alive and dead at the same time. This gives rise to a disruptive technology with revolutionary implications to medicine, artificial intelligence, batteries and energy, communications, navigation, banking, and endless other fields. Quantum computers will be exponentially stronger, meaning, for example, 1 trillion times faster, opening the road to many disruptive applications such as engineering of new drugs. This is the future, but we're not there yet. We are here to enable that future. My name is Ron Folman, and I'm a professor of physics specializing for over 20 years in quantum technology. I'm the founder of 4 academic quantum centers, including a nanofabrication center for quantum chips. Now, I'm founding Photonics Q to take all this know-how to the real world and make the quantum revolution a reality. The core business of Photonics Q is quantum chips. Just like miniaturization and integration of electronics onto chips enabled the computer revolution in the 70s, and just like the miniaturization and integration of optics enabled the communication revolution at the turn of the century, today, a new era of chips, quantum chips, are needed to enable the quantum revolution. And we, Photonics Q, know how to do exactly that. Together with me, our leading team includes Moti Kinslinger as CEO, bringing over 25 years of experience in the semiconductor industry, including several successful chip companies, and Itai Harel as COO. Our advisory board is made of renowned quantum scientists, technologists, and economists. But most importantly, Photonics Q has the required pool of experts from which to build its R&D team. In the Academy, I've been training this pool of experts for the last 20 years, where $50 million were already invested in training and developing the know-how. The experts I've trained include chip design and fabrication experts, as well as experts in quantum technology. Just to give an example, these experts have recently supplied the Israeli industry with the next generation of atomic clocks and atomic magnetic sensors. The mission of Photonics Q is to dismantle head-on the biggest barrier standing in the way of the quantum revolution, and that is the interconnects with the quantum bits, which are called qubits, and which stand at the base of every quantum device. These interconnects are mainly made of light, so the unique quantum chips we're making are based on advanced photonics, and that's why we are called Photonics Q. The barrier we're tackling is enormous. While a real quantum machine requires 1 million qubits to operate, to date, the industry only has a few hundreds. The only way the industry can make the quantum leap is by integrating qubits and their interconnects on chips, just like transistors were previously integrated on chips. This is the only way the quantum revolution will materialize.
Thanks, Ron. I am Moti Kinslinger, the CEO of Photonics Q. My job is to take Ron's great inventions and turn them into a successful business. In addition to his extensive know-how, Professor Follman brings practical experience. He founded the world's first academic nanofabrication facility for quantum chips, which supply advanced chips to R&D labs across the world. Ron's accomplishments won world recognition, including the Lamb Medal in the US, a Miller Visiting Professorship Award in Berkeley, Furlingwald's Prize in Europe, and numerous featured articles. Our competitive edge combines the expertise in both quantum circuit miniaturization and quantum photonics. This sweet spot enables us to develop highly integrated quantum chips using light for interconnect and control, which are essential building blocks in scaling up quantum computing machines. There are significant efforts in the academy and industry to develop a practical quantum computing machine. Some companies specialize in miniaturization on chip, and some specialize in quantum operation based on light. Our unique edge is the combination of these two, enabling us to introduce large-scale integration capability and become a leading provider of these critical components in the quantum market. It will take some time till quantum computers become a reality, and we will be there as a leading provider for quantum chips. In the short term, we plan to commercialize our building block circuits as components for other existing markets, such as ultra-high precision measurements, communications, and the general photonic market worth over $1 trillion. Our integrated circuits as phase stabilizer, narrow line width laser, and frequency comp will allow us to start generating revenue within a few years. We are currently in the process of raising funds and kicking off the company. We are Photonics Q, and we invite you to become our partner and take part in this exciting revolution of computing.
Thanks to Photonics Q team. Let's open the floor for questions. Please send your questions to Oazis Q&A chat. Anyone with questions, you can also raise your hand. Okay, so we've just received an anonymous question. If we can have some collaboration about Photonics team, if you can please elaborate about your business model.
Hi, I am Moti. Our business model is becoming a chip provider for system companies that are developing quantum computing machines. Like Intel today and other companies, our business is to sell chips. I hope this answers the question.
Okay, thanks a lot. I see that Konstantin Berezin has a question. The floor is yours, Konstantin. What is the TRL level of your technology?
Okay, so I'll answer that. Well, for the past 20 years, we have been making advanced chips. So these chips, much of the technology is already existing, and in fact, we're supplying chips, as briefly noted in the video, to R&D labs around the world now for the past 20 years. So I would say that the TRL is quite high, and of course, so far it has been in the academic R&D, and now it has to move into the industry.
Okay, thanks. Miri, Brooke, can you please ask your question?
I have connection issues, but I'll try. So most quantum processing units and full stack providers plan to develop their own interconnects in-house. So how do you plan to overcome this competition, which is actually your customers, if I understand correctly? And what's the integration strategy, please?
Okay, so of course we'll have to work together with the large companies. That's how we'll start. And I think that large companies always enjoy outsourcing their R&D to people with unique expertise, and we are a group with unique expertise who have, as I said, made advanced chips, quantum chips for the last 20 years. So I think that large companies who have a lot of different R&D issues would be very happy to accept someone who has a unique experience. I'll just give you a short story. We once had the head of DARPA visiting our lab, and that's the largest funding agency of technologies in the world. And I asked him, what are you doing here? You have much more resources in the States. And he said that I heard what you guys are doing here, and I came to see this Israeli chutzpah. That's a direct quote, and that's exactly what we are. We have a chutzpah, we have unique technologies, niches that were developed here. This is exactly what we're going to provide to these large companies.
Thanks, Ron. We have a question from Sian. Sian, would you like to ask?
Hi, sure. Sorry, I'm at an event, so it might be a little loud. Essentially, where are you exactly today in terms of progress, and what's your next immediate milestone, or what do you need to get there?
Okay, so we're just now kickstarting the company. The progress that has been made so far has been made in our academic format. So for the last 20 years here in Ben-Gurion University, we had an advanced fabrication facility with a large team developing the know-how. And now, as we kickstart the company, all this will be moved into the company. But I think that our starting point is extremely high.
Okay, thanks. And now for our last question from Naomi Schmeier. You're on mute at the moment.
Right, thank you. What is the size of the investment, and what milestone is it aimed to achieve?
Okay, that's a great question. We are going to give numbers. We know what we want and what we need, but we're going to give numbers only in more private forums. So I won't answer this question directly here, but I will say
that any R&D in a fabrication facility, and experts in fabrication know this very well, requires large funds. And what we are going to do is R&D of hardware. These are advanced chips that you really need to fabricate and show that they're working. So we are going to work in a fabrication environment of clean rooms and in labs, which can then characterize the chips. This requires large funds, but that's all I can say about it at the moment.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Naomi, and all the questions and everyone for the questions. We'll move on to our next startup in the field of diagnostics, BFAST. Bacterial lab testing today takes between 2 to 3 days, and many patients in the meantime get unnecessary or even wrong antibiotics. I will leave it to BFAST to present their technological solution to this challenge. BFAST, go ahead.
$10 million people. This is the number of people expected to die annually by 2050 due to bacterial resistance to antibiotic. Every 15 minutes, 1 American dies due to antibiotic-resistant bacteria. According to the research, antibiotic resistance is becoming one of the largest global threats in the 21st century. Today, many bacteria have acquired some level of resistance to antibiotics. Therefore, it is crucial to rapidly determine susceptibility to antibiotics and providing effective treatment. Why is that? Currently, it takes 48 to 72 hours, sometimes even more, to determine the type of bacteria and its resistance. Therefore, it is practically impossible to match the right antibiotic to a patient in real time. Many patients are not getting the proper antibiotic treatments, but we can do it accurately and much faster, within less than an hour. Hi, my name is Ron Linder, and I'm with BFAST.ai. BFAST.ai develops a rapid diagnostic methods that simultaneously identifies urinary bacteria and determines susceptibility to antibiotics. Did you know that 92% of the urinary bacteria, almost all of them, are already developed resistant to at least one common antibiotic? In the absence of a rapid and accurate test, physicians determine which antibiotic to prescribe based on their clinical experience. As a result, patients get the wrong antibiotic in 50% of the cases. Furthermore, 63% of the ER patients with urinary bacteria are treated with antibiotic that did not follow the clinical guidelines. This is exactly where BFAST.ai takes the lead. Within 40 minutes, our unique technology simultaneously identifies the urinary bacteria and determines which antibiotic will be the most effective. We do so by examining the infecting bacteria using spectroscopic FTIR technique and machine learning algorithms, without the need to use any antibiotic for the test. Our patent-pending technology has been successfully developed and tested over the past 8 years, and has reached an impressive proof of concept with 96% bacterial identification rate and 86 susceptibility diagnostic, all within 40 minutes. Moving forward, we expect to further improve these rates by enlarging the clinical samples, running larger data sets, and full-scale development of the algorithm. But BFAST is not just about being fast. It is the only method that does not require antibiotic at all. It is more cost-effective, simple, and agile. Our method will enable more effective treatments, reducing rates of medical complications and hospitalization expenses. BFAST.ai is led by our multidisciplinary team of experts. Professor Mahmoud Uliel, a leading expert in microbiology with 30 years of experience. Professor Ahmed Salman, with more than 20 years of experience in spectroscopy. Professor Isaac Lapidot, a leading scientist with more than 20 years of experience in the field of machine learning. George and Uriah, PhDs from Ben-Gurion University, our highly competent R&D and operation team, and myself, Ron Linder, with 20 years of senior managerial experience as CEO of leading health IT and enterprise solution companies. The global market of UTI testing is estimated at $5.4 billion annually, as 150 million people are affected by urinary infection each year, with an annual growth of 11%. The market potential in the 7 leading countries, including US, top European countries, and Japan, is estimated at $1.2 billion annually. We aim to reach 5% of the market, around $60 million, within 5 years from the product launch. We develop a rapid, antibiotic-free, machine learning-based diagnostic solution, identifying within 40 minutes the type of bacteria and its resistance. Since the problem is huge, a number of startups are currently working on a rapid diagnostic system, but bfast.ai introduces significant advantages. We introduce the first antibiotic-free testing method, which simplifies the production of the kit as well as the testing process, making it much more scalable and agile for testing all antibiotics at once. Additionally, our method is the fastest one for both bacterial identification and antibiotic testing. Our business model is based on B2B, relying on OpEx-based SaaS model of annual subscription for number of performed tests. Our target customers are healthcare organizations, medical centers, and central laboratories in North America, Europe, and United Arab Emirates. The idea is that we grow our business together with our customers. We estimate the go-to-market plan at 36 months for software and hardware design and development, clinical trials, design partner installation, and regulatory approvals. We are raising $3 million for product design and development and clinical testing. Our vision is to substantially contribute to reducing bacterial resistance and improve treatments. We developed the right method to do so. Together, we can make it a reality. So be fast, be right, be with us.
Thanks to the BFAST team. Let's open the floor for questions. Remind you to please send your questions to our Q&A chat. We're just going over them at the moment. In the meantime, I have an anonymous question to the BFAST team. What is your main advantage compared to the others, and what is your innovation? In the meantime, if you can elaborate, thanks.
Okay, thank you, Melanie. Well, there are a few companies that have initiated and developed technologies to deal with this huge topic, but we have taken different methods. And the uniqueness with our method is mainly regarding the fact that we are not using antibiotic at all during the tests. So we are using a spectroscopic FTLR technique and machine learning algorithm, and we can actually determine simultaneously the type of bacteria and its susceptibility with no antibiotic at all. And that's basically what differentiates us from the others that would need to use antibiotics tests in order to determine the susceptibility.
Thanks for your elaboration, Ron. I see that Vicky Almogi has a question. Vicky, the floor is yours.
Hi, great presentation. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, thanks. So I just wanted to ask, time to market wise, you mentioned yourself there are several players already that been around, I know, a few years already with some customers, and they have a bit different solution, but they are tackling the same problem. How do you think you'll be able to develop your solution on time before they come up with something similar?
Well, thank you for asking. First of all, I must say that this technology was developed by 3 professors in the last 8 years here at Ben-Gurion University. Now, what we are planning to do, basically, we are planning to take 36 months and to run and develop proof of concepts, both on the software side and on the hardware side. And at the same time, we are planning to sign an agreement with local hospitals here in Israel in order to improve our samples and our data sets and to improve our success rates. So we strongly believe that within 36 months, we can put together the pieces of hardware and software
and roll out this product into the market.
Thanks, Ron. I see
thanks.
that Isabel Kayat has a very interesting question as well. Isabel?
Yes, sorry, I was muted. Yes, I am always appalled by the lack of women in senior roles. So I'm glad I was happy when I saw the 2 women in the senior roles, but you didn't even mention their names. They were nice, but talk about them. Do you foresee an evolution where women and men will have equal roles in the company at the senior levels as well?
Isabel, it's difficult for us to hear us. I don't know if our team heard.
We couldn't hear it. We need your help here.
Okay, so I'll just state what Isabel asked. Do you foresee sharing responsibilities in your company with female executives?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We look forward.
Okay, thanks.
Answer is absolutely yes.
Thanks. And Naomi Schmeier, you have a question?
She's muted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you.
not everybody. Just a quick question. Why did you choose this particular vertical among all the other existing vertical? And is the technology compatible with other verticals?
Thank you for asking this. Yes, first of all, the reason that the professors have selected this area is mainly because it's the most common bacteria and it's the most common topic. We are talking about 150 million people suffering from UTI annually, and it's growing. So basically, we have decided to take the most common topic and to deal with this to start with. We strongly believe that as we progress, we will be able to move this technology and the capability to other areas as well in the future.
Thanks very much to the BFAST team. Any more questions? We have time for one last question. Okay, so I think we're going to move on. So before we continue with our other presentations, we're very happy to share a greeting by Professor Dan Bloomberg, Ben Gurion University's Vice President for Regional and Industrial Development and the Chairman of the Israeli Space Agency.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dan Bloomberg, Vice President of Ben Gurion University of the Negev and Chairman of the Israel Space Agency. It's such a great pleasure to be with you here today and congratulate you on completion of the 4th cohort of the Oazis program at BGU. The Oazis team has really created a new model transferring knowledge from academia to industry. This is a huge opportunity for all of us. This will be nurturing the entrepreneurship mindset of scientists and researchers at BGU, creating new high-value jobs, a new high-value employment opportunity and ecosystem in the Negev desert in Israel. So using this opportunity to congratulate you all and wishing you a happy new year, Shana Tova to everyone.
Thanks, Dan. Indeed, Happy New Year to everyone. And just for us, it seems like Oazis has been around forever. But the truth is that it was founded by Michel Assayag and Julia Sagalin only 2.5 years ago. And since then, of the 18 companies that have so far graduated from Oazis, 12 have already raised seed funds with over $16 million in total. It's absolutely incredible. So we are also proud that, that 4 of them have even opened their offices at the university's Advanced Tech Park right next to us, nurturing the Negev Tech ecosystem. So let's get back to our startups. And we're going to move on to our 3rd startup, which is in the field of medical devices, SenseGate. And SenseGate offers a unique solution that will give hope to millions of people with walking disabilities. So SenseGate, please go ahead.
This is Moshe, who just a few weeks ago suffered a stroke. He uses a walker, but there is nothing wrong with his motion system. He cannot walk properly because he cannot sense his feet, and his brain has no idea where his legs are. Picture yourself spacewalking. This is how insecure he is. Moshe is not alone. Walking disabilities due to sensory impairments affect hundreds of millions of people worldwide. But current treatments treat the symptoms and not the cause. And this has not changed for nearly 70 years. We are SenseGate, and we can help these people. How? Using alternative stimulation and brain learning, we replace the missing touch and body sensation. We stimulate a healthy part of the body, and the brain learns to interpret the stimulus and use it for walking. With SenseGate, they will walk with their mind. My name is Professor Ilana Nitzky from the Department of Biomedical Engineering. I have 17 years of experience in neuroscience, touch technologies, and robotics at Ben-Gurion, Stanford, and Cambridge universities. My partner is Dr. Simona Bar-Chaim, a neuroscientist and a serial entrepreneur with decades of experience in leading multi-center clinical trials. Together, we lead a multidisciplinary team of engineers, clinicians, neuroscientists, and designers who are all dedicated to improve the walking abilities of people in need. With funding from the Israel Innovation Authority and in partnership with Adi Negev Nachalat Eran, a new rehabilitation hospital, we have the perfect ecosystem for development, clinical trials, and input from patients. We have developed a unique device designed as a belt that applies a movement stimulus on the skin while walking. Unlike other devices, our stimulus is not electric, so there is no irritation or painful feeling. The belt has one central control unit that tracks the body, recognizes the walking state, and applies the stimulus in sync with the walking. The stimulus on the skin replaces the missing sensation of the legs, and the mind connects between the walking state and the stimulus. Every person has a unique walking pattern, which made it difficult to find a suitable solution for all. In the heart of our solution is a personalized AI algorithm that recognizes the unique walking state of each person in real time. We have achieved 95% accuracy in healthy people and in people with stroke. To the best of our knowledge, we are the first to reach such success with just one unit. Our goal is for the belt to be a convenient wearable device in daily use and not just forgotten in the closet. To achieve this, our product designers work with the stroke survivors to optimize the belt anatomically and ergonomically. As a result, our patent-pending belt is a one-piece, customizable, and made from breathing, washable, sport-grade fabrics. The majority of our competitors address the motion symptoms and not the sensory cause. We have only one competitor who treats the sensory cause, but their product is bulky, and only patients who can feel their ankles can use it. We aim to reach as many patients as possible. We plan to do that through neurorehabilitation distributors that sell directly to designated clinics. At a later stage, once SenseGate gets the recognition from the rehabilitation clinics, we will offer the product to private customers as well. Our business plan includes a subscription option, where we will update the software for ongoing personalization, adding new features, and for managing specific clinicians' requests. The global market potential for our device is estimated at $1.6 billion. Our initial target market is the US, which alone represents market size of over $500 million. Based on a conservative 5% penetration rate, we can expect over $26 million sales in the US within the first 5 years. So far, we have built a standalone prototype, conducted initial clinical trials, and received Helsinki and AMAR approvals for advanced clinical trials. We will further develop our technology, miniaturize the components, and reach patient-ready design. We will also conduct advanced clinical trials with people with stroke and diabetics. To accomplish that, we are raising $2 million US. It is our commitment to help Moshe to walk confidently and with a smile. Join us to make his dream a reality.
Thanks very much to the Sandscape team. Let's start let's have some questions. In the meantime, I have an anonymous question. If you can please elaborate on how you approach reimbursement.
Thank you, Melanie. We think that there are several codes for reimbursement that will suit our belt, Sandscape. They are related to gate analysis, meaning that we can monitor walking, and this is a code that is recognized by Medicare and Medicaid. And another two additional codes that we are going to investigate and see if they fit our device is a code for orthosis, trunk orthosis, and another code for stimulation, for a system stimulation. These three codes are already recognized for reimbursement in the medical field.
Thanks, Simona. I have another anonymous question over here. If you can please elaborate what regulations are needed in the US market and also about the FDA.
So we think that regarding the FDA, we probably are exempt from pre-market notification, 510(k) exempt. Our competitor in the United States that is already in the market, is exempt from a pre-marketing notification, and we suppose that we are the same, and actually this company will help us arrive to this 510(k) exempt regulation.
Thanks a lot. Arnon Columbus.
Hi, great presentation.
Hi, good to see you.
Thank you, Melanie. Hi, great to see everyone. You mentioned some partners that you're advised with, or great partners to work with as a field of experience here in the Negev. Do you have design partners that you're looking at, or do you have already some LOIs of intents that are already there with strategic design partners?
Do you mean design of the technology?
No, the kind of company or a strategic partner that will help you to start with all the really testing and using those first versions that you have and the next version that you will have during the development.
So right now we are conducting our clinical trials in Adi Negev Nachalat Eran. They have a rehabilitation center. And in the next stage, which will start in January 23, we plan to find two additional rehabilitation centers to do the clinical trials, one here in Israel and the other one in the United States, because we target the US market. Another part of this partnership is with global neuro-rehabilitation distributors. We know them in Europe and the United States, and the main thing is to partner with them once we are close to the market in the United States, like Bioness, DIH, global distributors.
So currently it's Alei Negev.
Currently, it's Alei Negev, and we'll start the clinical trials. We already have a proof of concept with the serial case studies, and the clinical trials that will start in January 23 will be in Alei Negev and in additional hospital here in Israel.
Thanks.
Thanks, Arnon, for your question. We have a question from Eti Vidavsky. Hi, Eti, good to see you with us. Eti, I think you're on mute.
Do you hear me?
Yes, now we do.
Sorry. Do you know BioExtreme? It's a company dealing in the same market, Israeli company, and they got already the FDA and the CE. They're operating in the States and also in Europe. And what is your unique value proposition?
So the BioExtreme company is indeed a company that is working on motor rehabilitation, which is exactly the gap that we mentioned, that current treatments treat the motor symptoms like BioExtreme and not the sensory cause, like what we are proposing, where the focus is on the missing sensation. In addition, their product is a rehabilitation, and our belt is for daily use in their everyday life rather than in the clinic. So it's a different type of a device.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Eti, for your question. And thanks, we now have a question from Vicky Almog.
Yeah, hi guys. Great presentation. I just wanted to ask why you think it's better to use a belt and not other wearable devices like a watch or phone. Did you consider that?
Yeah, thank you. It's a good question. First of all, the need for a belt comes from our patients. In the design process, we consulted with them, and they want a device that will be easy to use, one device that will be possible to wear on the body directly. Second, the same device will be doing assessment of the gait and stimulation, and the stimulation has to be on the body, on the central part of the body.
But if they're not wearing belts?
So this belt would be something that is part of a universal design, is something that is like a sport, like the kind of accessories that you use in sport. It's from sport grade fabric, so it's not a belt that they have to use on their trousers.
It doesn't have to be discoverable, right? Can it be like underwear kind of belt?
The belt is really not on the trousers, but it's under the shirt, directly on the body. It's not visible. And if it's visible, it's going to be something that is desirable in the sense that it's kind of a sport device.
Accessorized. Okay, thank you. That makes sense.
Thanks, Vicky, for your question, and thanks very much to the SenseGate team. Let's move on to our smart city startup, Oazis. Can we call our future smart cities smart if car accidents still occur within their zones? What will it take to eliminate car accidents? Well, it seems that Oazis has a solution. So Oazis, go ahead.
Imagine that you are crossing the street behind the blue car, and this happens. A simple mistake with devastating consequences. Car manufacturers try to make their cars safer using cameras, LiDAR, and radar. But all of these sensors are limited in their coverage, accuracy, and resolution. High-resolution sensing is critical for a complete perception of the scene. Moreover, most of these sensors are sensitive both to weather and lighting conditions. They also have no protection against mutual interference and cyber attacks. Our technology overcomes all of these limitations. We have built a team of leading experts from academia and industry, specializing in cutting-edge sensor technology and business. My name is Igal Bilik from Ben-Gurion University. I have over 25 years of experience in advanced sensors for automotive applications. I established and managed the sensor group at General Motors R&D, and I led the development of automotive sensing technologies. My co-founder, Professor Joseph Tabrikian, also from Ben-Gurion University, he has over 35 years of experience in radar signal processing. He is currently on 4-year sabbatical to lead our technology development. Shachar Vilval brings 10 years of experience in the automotive industry as a senior researcher at General Motors R&D. Yuval Erez is our Oazis associate. Alex Taskar and Yaron Nahari are our advisors with extensive commercial experience in fundraising and operations management. And we are currently in negotiations with a CEO who has a vast experience in leading technology companies. So what do? Imagine this situation. You are driving the orange car. You can't see the scooter, which is about to charge into the road. Even the car's sensor cannot detect it due to a lack of line of sight. At the same time, the blue car can detect the scooter, but this information is not shared with you. We create a network of vehicles that share the data from their sensor to a central server in the cloud. All vehicles in the same area then receive this information. This approach provides much more complete picture of immediate environment. Now you are alerted about the scooter and can avoid this collision. Our technology of data fusion from multiple cars solves the coverage problem and dramatically improves the sensing resolution. It overcomes poor weather and lighting conditions and immune to mutual interference and cyber attacks. In the network, the vehicles share sensor detections over cellular links. Our algorithms take this data and fuse them in the cloud to create a global view. This is possible thanks to the short latency of current cellular technology, which is way faster than the human reaction time. We will offer services not only for active safety, but also for vacant parking mapping, hazard notifications, and other big data applications. The solution is based on our patent-pending deep technology. The business opportunity is huge. We will first be targeting the US with a market of 170 million cars in urban areas. Assuming a subscription fee of $100 per year, the available market is $17 billion. With a 5% penetration, the expected annual revenue in the US alone is almost $1 billion. In the next stage, we will expand into Europe and Asia. Our business model is B2B and includes car manufacturers, fleet companies, and service providers like Waze and Park Mobile. A number of companies offer standalone cameras, radar, and LiDAR, but their coverage is limited to line of sight. Location sharing solutions have better coverage, but their resolution is low and they can detect only connected objects in the network. Our solution provides non-line of sight information on all surrounding objects with very high resolution. We already have a proof of concept demo and are preparing to run a pilot in Israel. Several leasing companies have already expressed their interest to join. After 6 months, we begin deploying our network. We will then start offering services like hazard notifications and parking. In parallel, we will engage the car manufacturers to integrate our technology. We are very excited to bring this technology to life, and we invite you to join us as we drive toward a world with zero accidents.
Thanks very much to the RadarWiz team. Now we're going to open the floor for questions. And in the meantime, I have a question for the RadarWiz team. If you can, please elaborate if cars without sensors can benefit from your system.
Yes, definitely. Actually, each car can download an application. And the picture that we create in the cloud can be transferred to each end user.
Thanks for your answer. Definitely learned something. Any more questions? Yes, I have a question from Nikki Ralston.
Yeah, I can read it. It's can this technology replace LiDARs? Well, we are not intending this technology to replace any kind of sensor. We intend to use existing sensors on the cars today. They are everywhere. They are almost on every car that is sold today, and mainly used just by that car. And we intend to take this information and make it more usable and distribute it among all of the road users. And the better the sensors, the better and the more accurate our map will be, and the better services we can provide. So no, we are not replacing the sensors, but we are leveraging the existing sensors and creating a better use of them for all road users.
Thanks, and thanks, Nikki, for your question. I've just received an anonymous question. How are you different from other collaborative maps as Waze or Mobileye REM?
So current collaborative maps like Waze require the driver to take part in this process and to report what is seen on the road. Our solution doing it automatically using the sensors available on the vehicle. So all the information that sensors on the vehicle detect transferred to the cloud, and this information is made available for all users in the network, either connected to the network or not connected to the network, without any driver intervention. This proved to be faster and more reliable solution than relying on the human drivers.
Okay, thanks very much. And I have another question from Naomi Schmeier.
Can you repeat the question? It faded
She's
a
about
lot.
to ask it, Naomi.
I didn't ask it. Hi, Aaron, how are you?
Hi.
Great seeing you again. I didn't quite realize, and if Yaron is there, there must be a very big deal in the company, and it sounds really exciting. Very good. What are the competitive advantages and what's the advantages over the technology that is readily available in large companies currently in the field?
So currently there is no technology available that's sharing the sensor data globally. All the vehicles on the road rely on their sensing suite only. There's no sensed data sharing globally. We creating global information using the sensed data and make it available for all drivers, either connected to the network or not connected to the network. Okay, so you can think about it as providing an additional layer to the global digital map as a sensor seed, either radars, lidars, and cameras. So whoever sensor can contribute additional information to this map, it's just provide additional layer of information and make the environment more reliably seen.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Any more questions before we move on?
Yes.
Arnon?
Yeah. To what extent have you already checked the false positive or false alarm? Since you speak about many-to-many systems, it's multi-channel or multi-data sources. So to what extent are you protected from false alarms?
Each sensor has its own false alarm, but globally the false alarm will be much lower than any individual sensor. It's natural that if you use information from multiple sensors, then we improve the probability of false alarm. Of course, we need to keep a low probability of false alarm in order to keep the whole system reliable.
Thanks very much. Thanks, Arnon, for your question. We're going to move on to introduce our next startup, Scorus, a startup that has developed an anti-reflective optics solution inspired by nature. We can look at nature as a kind of catalog of products that have benefited from 3.8 billion years of R&D. Innovative companies are tapping into nature's R&D solutions by decoding strategies from nature and developing transformative technologies. I'll hand it over to Scorus' team to elaborate about their solution. Scorus, go ahead.
Let me tell you about a severe problem in optical lenses and windows. Any material designed to be transparent reflects light. This creates blind spot blurriness and basically reduces the imaging quality of our glasses, cameras, and displays. Take, for example, autonomous vehicles. Here, the reflection from camera windows and lenses makes some crucial details of the car's surrounding disappear. Without these details, the driving algorithm can make a wrong and even dangerous decision. The traditional solution to this problem is anti-reflective films. But these films reduce the reflection of light only within a limited range of colors and angles, while in many applications we need optics for both visible spectrum in the day and infrared at night. Also, this film gets scratched, cracked, and detached easily, especially in harsh environment and physical contact. This makes them often inapplicable, for instance, in military and space optics and many other applications. The ultimate solution comes from nature. It was found that the cornea of some insects, such as moths, are covered with nanometric bumps. While being smaller than the wavelengths of light, these nanobumps produce an optical effect that prevents the reflection of light in a very wide range of colors and angles. Insects use these anti-reflective structures for night camouflage. We use them for industrial optics. I am Mark Schwarzman, co-founder of Skoros. I'm a professor of materials engineering at Ben-Gurion University and a nanotechnologist with more than 20 years of experience in academia and industry. We at Skoros have developed a unique nanotechnology to reproduce artificial anti-reflective structures on any optical surface. Our nanostructures reduce the reflection of light more efficiently than anti-reflective films. Also, since they are not made of separate materials but are etched directly within the surface, they don't detach, don't crack, even in a harsh environment. In the future, such anti-reflective structures will replace anti-reflective films in many products. That's why all the major optical companies are racing today to develop their own anti-reflective structures. But despite all efforts, this future has not yet come. Why? Well, so far the solution of these companies have three main limitations. First, they are effective only within a certain limited part of the light spectrum, while today's market demands solution for any spectral region, from visible light, for instance, for displays, to infrared light for thermal imaging. Our technology is the only one that can design anti-reflective structures for any range of the spectrum. Secondly, the existing anti-reflective structures can be applied to very few materials. Our innovative technology is the only one that can produce them on any optical material. And finally, the existing anti-reflective structures are very fragile. So the surface they cover cannot be touched or cleaned using standard cleaning methods, making them inapplicable for most optical uses. Our innovative technology is the only one that produces durable structures that withstand physical contact and can be cleaned by simple and standard wet wiping. Over 7 years of R&D, we have been developing anti-reflective structures for leading Israeli companies, such as Rafael, Elbit, and MKS. We have a portfolio of proprietary IP, a unique know-how, and a highly professional and experienced team that also includes Sivan Satka, a brilliant PhD student who is deeply involved in the development and will serve as our CTO. So, what do we actually do? First, we do cutting-edge custom design of optimized anti-reflective structures for any desired applications. Then, we precisely produce them using our patented technology. Our proof of concept was demonstrated on silicon windows for infrared light, plastic lenses, and even sapphire, the strongest optical material on Earth. Sapphire is broadly used for mechanically resistant optical windows, and you find it in Rolex watches, iPhone cameras, and Apple smartwatches. But all of these have no anti-reflective coating and produce white spots and blurred images. We are the only ones that demonstrated durable anti-reflective structures on sapphire for the entire visible spectrum of light. Our business model is based on selling uniquely designed optical elements to partners as OEM for different applications. The global markets for anti-reflective coating is $5 billion. We plan to implement our unique technology in some of the most attractive and most profitable segments of these markets, targeting smartphone cameras, smartwatches, and automotive optical sensors. Tunable nanofabricated structures embedded within the material itself are the future of anti-reflective technology. We are Skoros, and we invite you to join us to unleash the potential of these structures and revolutionize the world of optics.
Thanks very much to the Scorers team. Amazing. Nature has the solutions to our technological challenges. All we have to do is just to look around us and analyze what we see. So let's open the floor to questions. Please send your questions to our Q&A chat for those of you that have just joined. And in the meantime, I have an anonymous question. Why do iPhone cameras need an anti-reflective coating if they can function without them?
So the current solution of iPhone cameras is done by software or software level. They have some software which tries to prevent the blurriness and blind spots. However, this is not as effective as the physical anti-reflective coatings which exist in optics that is not made of sapphire. And this is a well-known drawback of iPhone's cameras, which is broadly discussed among users of these phones.
Thanks for elaborating on that. I see another anonymous question coming up. Cyan, before I ask that, I have a question from Cyan. Cyan, go ahead.
Hi, it sounds really cool. In terms of business model, how is this set up? Are they going to be etching the lenses themselves, your end customers, or they'll be sending the lenses to you? How does that work?
So we have a several business model, and it greatly depends on the customer and the size of this production. We currently have a few partners who I mentioned, which have a low volume demands, and for this we produce these structures by ourselves. In a higher volume production, we are willing to use foundries, subcontractors for which we will develop technology, and for really high volume things, if you can imagine, for example, level of cameras of iPhones, we are thinking of developing technology for these companies or for their contractors.
Thanks very much, Cyan. So let's move on to our anonymous question. What are your strategic competitive advantages over other big companies that develop anti-reflective structures? If you can please elaborate on that.
So as I mentioned in the presentation, our main advantage is that they are durable. They withstand physical contact, and you cannot find it in any other attempts to produce anti-reflective structures. The optical performance is much better because they prevent light reflection in a much broader spectrum. And they can be also, our technology can be also implemented in almost every existing optical material, while all the competitors so far demonstrated it on a very limited number of materials, usually glass.
Okay, thanks very much. So thanks to the Scorers team. Let's move on to our last, but not least, our last startup in the area of climate tech, Carbon Negev. Climate change has become a reality, and it is widely recognized as a perilous threat to humanity as well as the global economy. Carbon capture is expected to play a pivotal role in the race to zero emissions. The Carbon Negev team have developed a technology that not only captures waste gases, but also transforms them into diverse products. So Carbon Negev, go ahead.
Greenhouse gases, mainly CO2, are driving global warming, despite global agreements signed by countries with specific commitments to lower CO2 emissions. 2021 marked a record of 36 gigaton, of which the industry emitted about 24%. Beyond the negative economic impact of CO2 emissions, the reputations of companies could be damaged to the point that they may lose market share. CO2 is emitted in numerous locations. Its reduction requires simple and affordable small-scale units that convert it to green products. The current technologies for CO2 reduction are complex, limited to specific feedstock, and require many stages and further treatment of the product. Therefore, they are not applicable to small-scale units. CarbonNegev is ready to commercialize a novel technology to convert various carbon emissions, providing a compact, scalable, and affordable solution to multiple industries for decentralized units. CarbonNegev offers its technology to significantly reduce the carbon footprint on site by converting CO2, solid waste, biomass, and waste gas emissions into green blending stock for transportation fuels and lubricants. The process consists of converting various feedstocks to syngas, fed into our process to produce green products at high efficiency and minimum stages. My name is Professor Moti Hershkowitz, founder and CEO of CarbonNegev, with over 30 years of expertise in developing materials and processes for production of renewable fuels. Our leadership team includes Tommy Hoss, a chemical engineer, highly knowledgeable in the field, and Professor Meron Landau, our advisor and expert in catalytic materials. Over the last 8 years, $5 million were spent in the development of the patent-protected technology that can improve energy utilization while reducing CO2 emissions. Our process does not require external hydrogen. It reduces CO2 emissions by up to 99% while utilizing the energy efficiently to produce highly valuable green fuels, lubricants, and chemicals that can be used on-site or in the fuel market. The process can be operated with different feedstocks and the low area footprint in a one-screw system, making it specifically suitable for small-scale applications. The demand for liquid fuels for transportation and lubricants is forecasted to increase by 2050. The renewable fuels market potential is enormous, estimated at over $110 billion last year, and expected to increase rapidly due to government policies. Currently, the green fuels for transportation are mainly fuels from biological sources that compete with food production. Their production reached a peak because of lack of feedstock. Our feedstock is practically unlimited. It reduces the carbon footprint of the fuels by as much as 90% compared with the existing fuels and can be blended with no further treatment. The benefits for industries emitting CO2 will be enormous, as they currently spend billions of dollars every year on carbon payments. Revenues will be generated from licensing the technology and operating the unit in specific projects together with renewable energy companies, and from selling green products and receiving carbon credits at multiple sites around the world. Our plants can be competitive at small scale and reach the break-even point within 5 years of plant startup. As opposed to other technologies, our technology renders the system simple and affordable, while producing superior products that can be used on-site or directly in the market with no further treatment. To date, 4 patents have been awarded and the life test run was completed at the mini pilot scale. We are currently raising $2 million to build a demonstration unit with an industrial partner within 6 months. Within 18 months, we expect to scale up our unit to be able to demonstrate our technology on an industrial scale. From there, until 2030, we are aiming to remove over 1 million tons of CO2 from various plants while producing highly valuable green fuels and chemicals. So this is the time to join us and reduce the carbon footprint for a better and greener world.
Thanks very much to the CarbonNegev team. I see that Vicky Almog has raised her hand. Vicky?
Yeah, I'm really curious. I couldn't catch it from the pitch. Do you guys meet the regulation requirements? And if yes, where?
Yes. So first of all,
we are testing our product in a certified lab to ensure that the products, the fuels, meet the standards for transportation fuels. In addition to that, all types of feedstock that are used in our process are classified under the US and EU program to reduce the carbon emission in the transportation sector.
Okay, and a follow-up question to that, and by the way, hi, good to see you guys. Like, what do you feel you need the most right now, alongside with funds, of course?
Yeah, so of course we need the funds to complete the work in the lab. We also, as we show in the video, we are planning to design and build a demonstration unit in the next year. But we're also looking for a strong partner from the industry. It is looking to benefit from our technology and can provide us with a stable source of gas that contains high percentage of carbon and location to place our unit.
Thanks, Vicky, for your questions. And Tommy, we have a question from Yerimi.
Thank you. You mentioned a small scale as your target market. Could you please define a plant small scale that you're shooting for, something in the US? What type of facility and what do you mean by small scale?
Sure. It's something in the range of 50 to 500 barrels per day. It's meaning a plant that emits around between 25 to 250 tons a day of carbon.
Thanks. Does that answer your question, Yerimi? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks. Thanks a lot. Any other questions before we move on? Okay, I see that Simon, who's watching us from Facebook, actually has a question. If you can please elaborate what your main needs are in the future.
Well, as I mentioned already before, we are looking now to complete, we need funds to complete the work in the lab, then to build the demonstration unit, which includes, of course, like to test our product, and also to complete the scale-up and production of commercial catalyst samples. And after operating our demonstration unit for about a year, we are looking for a site with a stable source of CO or CO2 that we can convert into green products.
Okay, thanks a lot. So I'd like to thank, at the moment, we've showcased all our amazing 6 startups. And I'd like to thank, first of all of our researchers and startup team members for their courage and hard work to realize this amazing event, and to all of you for participating. We will send you all an email with a link to the recording of this event. And I would now like to conclude by inviting Dana Gavish, the founder of Yazamut 360, to conclude this event. Dana, the floor is yours.
Well, Melanie, I think a huge thank you goes first of all to you and to the Oasis team, to Yuval Almogi, Tamir Elazar, Julia Sagalin, who's been helping us all along, and Michal Rotem-Chovev. I think that there was such heavy lifting around this project. Thank you so much for this. I don't know if you see behind me at the Entrepreneurship Centers, all the team are just so excited around this event. So the hype keeps going on right behind me. It's a virtual event and the real event. It's a kind of hybrid. So it was real logistics putting it up together. And I know you've all worked day and night together with the amazing researchers who took this leap of faith and believed in Oasis, in the Entrepreneurship Center, in the joint collaboration with BGN Technologies. We have something really special here. Oasis is being researched as we speak by other organizations worldwide and by other universities in Israel. There's a great concept here, I think, and great collaboration. So I wish great success to all these new startups. This is just the beginning. there's a lot to do and to continue, and hopefully they will all be successful in continuing their projects, in possibly having their offices opened here in the Negev, in raising funding. Amazing science was introduced here today, and this is the basis of everything. So huge thank you to everyone, and have a great day. Good night to Australian friends, and good day to all of us here. Thank you and goodbye.
Thanks, Dana. Thanks. Just one last thing, and that's that we're opening an additional cohort, of course, and we're inviting new researchers and CEOs to join us in our next cohort. So the invite is open, and thanks to everyone for joining us.